I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher 33, and continuing to dig into this book by Maurice Nicoll on the works of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, and continuing my practice of the fourth way, being in the world but not of the world, being present in my life and offering my gifts as I navigate life through the matrix. And one of the ideas that I've come across that has really hit home with me because it's a challenge is when we encounter negative thoughts and critical thoughts of others, spending less time entertaining those thoughts. And that's a real challenge for me in my personality type. I am with the Myers-Briggs personality. I'm the INFJ, the rarest type, I believe, the introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. So my tendency is to be very critical of other people and of myself. And I have a low tolerance for people. I have to have a lot of time away from people. There are very few people that I really like. And that's just the way I'm wired. But what the work of Gurdjieff says is that when we are critical of others, we are in fact critical, that's a reflection of something inside of us. We get heavily triggered and have this disdain for someone outside. At times, that can be a, a signal that there's something in us that we have not healed. Now, I reference another book, a self-help book and a spiritual book, The Four Agreements. And the Four Agreements are: be impeccable with one's word, do not assume, don't take anything personally, and always do your best. And I'm very good with being impeccable with my word. That's something I'm consistent on. But times I can be the intuitive in me sometimes can venture into the world of assumption, and I can take things very personally at time and draw conclusions that are not necessarily true. That's something I'm practicing on within myself, within my own nature, at being more neutral when it comes to, again, setting boundaries and looking at the relationships with people in my life, people out there. Because ultimately, again, it's like what Gurdjieff says, I found this to be true. It's like when we're super critical of other people and we carry like this disdain with them with us for the rest of the day. I can let that disdain for somebody I meet, I can let that build up in me, and I carry it with me. And even though I've done a lot of work of this type, sometimes I'm like, why am I letting this person trigger me out there? What is this saying about me right now? And ultimately, it usually comes down to stories I'm telling myself and more of a reminder of working on stronger boundaries. And with this work, again, this is the challenge here is that it's not about not feeling anything negative. It's about learning how to use those negative emotions and just let them pass, or at times take information from the negative emotions and then knowing ourselves. The fourth way, it all starts with know thyself and learning how to set appropriate boundaries with individuals that inspire negative feelings in us consistently. The other side of the negative emotions is sometimes they're warning. Sometimes they are saying to us, this is someone you don't want to keep too close to you because they're going to be a drain on you. They're going to be someone who pulls you into a negative state perpetually. So that's an issue of boundaries. So it's this fine line of getting information from the negative emotions and discerning, using them to discern how we engage in the world with individuals that inspire that, but yet not dwelling too far in them, always reorienting to our positive frame and the positive, the highest calling for us to be. and always re-engaging towards that positive means of showing up in the world. And kind of like, again, with the law of attraction, it's the idea, if you are focusing in the negative, you're going to manifest what you don't want. Again, not necessarily true, but there is some truth to it. It's like if we dwell on what's negative and we dwell on what we don't want, we dwell on how we hate this, how we hate that, we complain a lot, you tend to perpetuate that. You tend to get more of it. I've had experiences when people who were really annoying to me in my life, and I start to find myself thinking about them when I'm not in their presence, and they start to show up more in my life. And again, the work is setting boundaries and then reorienting towards what's positive. And ultimately, again, the idea of the fourth way in the work is when we are in that positive action, that positive relationship within ourselves and feeling positive about ourselves, then there's typically less criticism. We tend to not criticize other people as much. We tend not to do that, or if we do, we can set that boundary of using discernment. So when I find myself, again, now, this is the lesson of this video, the shadow teaching of this video, when I am, or you are, maybe ultra critical of somebody, and you find yourself dwelling on that or dreading seeing somebody, ask yourself why that is. What is this a reflection of something in you? Is this person triggering something in you? Or are they reflecting something back to you that you haven't worked on in yourself? Or do you need to set more boundaries? Is this the information coming to you saying that you've allowed this person to cross your boundaries? You've allowed that, and maybe you need to just set stronger boundaries, but doing it in a loving, positive way. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission. Be strong, be well, my friends, and I will see you on the other side.